Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again today. It is such a privilege for me to talk with you about the things that I have. So, we've talked about we've talked about money, we've talked about overwhelm, and today we're going to talk about time. These are the three biggest places that entrepreneurs really find they want to know more about. So, 2 weeks ago, we talked about overwhelm, how to deal with it, how to get out of your own way. We talked about money. And today, we're going to talk about time, the easy hacks that you can do to get more time out of your day. Time is finite. Money is not, but time is. So we really want to maximize how we spend this really valuable part of our lives. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lorna Whitaker. I'm a small business coach. I'm a consultant. I'm a financial skills trainer. And probably most importantly, I'm a growth expert specialist. So I'm really here to help you grow your businesses. So let's get started about the best and easiest ways to get more time back from your day. Entrepreneurs are always looking for ways to have more time so they can do what they love, so they can create a lifestyle that they love. So there's the 80-20 rule. This is an interesting concept. So 20% of what you do with your time is where all of the results are being produced. Were you aware of that? It's out there. You can Google it and find lots of people who are talking more about this 80-20 rule. But most of us have gotten into the habit of spending our time in the 80% of our day where it's not producing the kind of results that we want. One of the most important books I've ever read was more than 30 years ago, and it was The First Things First. And it really asked us to look at our lives and how we were spending our time. I found that for myself, I was being obligated, requested, encouraged to attend all kinds of meetings that were neither useful for me or actually for the group that they served. It was a really interesting wake-up call for me. So I started declining to go to these kinds of meetings and really focus my time on places that were effective and useful. So one of the things you can do for yourself is really take a look at how you're spending your time. So I want to give you some practical tips on how to use your time more effectively. Use technology. There's a ton of it out there that will really help you to maximize your time. Use your calendar. Set appointments for yourself. Set appointments for the work you need to do, not just for the clients or customers that you're going to meet with. Set alarms. So if you're decided to spend 20 minutes or 15 minutes on a task in the morning, set a little alarm to get you off that task, or just be mindful. It's really easy. Just be mindful. I want to do this really quickly for 15 minutes, particularly if it falls into that 80% rule of things that are not as necessarily effective for the use of your time. If you don't know how you're spending your time, take some time to find out. I love this little task manager. It's a timer, actually, so it keeps track of my time. It's called Toggl, TOGGL.com. Love, love, love this little online tool. It's on my phone. It's on my computer. When I sit down to do client work, I just click it on and type in what I'm doing, and then off I go and take care of those tasks. But I find that a lot of entrepreneurs are spending an inordinate amount of time on administrative tasks, things that are not actually generating any money for them. Those are those tasks that are falling into that 80% rule. So what we want to really know how we're spending our time. So spend a few weeks, get the Toggl app, put it on your phone, put it on your calendar, and start paying attention to your phone calls and the way you're spending your time. One of the real big time sucks for us are emails. Oh my goodness. They eat up so much time. So the best way to deal with them is to only look at emails during email time. So block out some time for that. Make sure that you've got this time where you're going to sit down and look at emails. If the email is personal and you're doing work for your business, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Come back to it later. If an email isn't related to the work that you want to be doing, then don't respond to it. Maybe you open it. Don't spend that time, purging your email box. Spend your important time paying attention to emails that are useful and in that 20% of building your business. It's going to be a great use of your time. Block out your time. So, and then do one other thing, build in time. So you're going to create time blocks to do certain kinds of tasks, whether that's on a weekly kind of a basis or just even during just something special for your day. But the other thing to do is to build in time. One of the things I found when I was traveling is that if I packed too much stuff to do in one day, I barely enjoyed the day. I ended up exhausted, and I didn't enjoy my next day or my other days during my travels. So I always built in some downtime, a couple of days. One of the other things is that when you have appointments with clients, if you set your appointments, let's say on the hour, for example, and you don't end the call on time, your next call is late. More importantly, you don't have time to get a drink of water or get something to eat. And that is one of my tips, is to be sure that you're getting water, that you're taking time to eat. I have a great business associate who says, well, she never stops to eat until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And actually, when she stops to eat, that's the end of her day. Why? Because she's worn out. So take time to stay hydrated and to get something to eat. And how we do that is we actually build in that time. So if you really allow for an hour for your meetings, then you need to set the appointments maybe every half hour later. So you want to set up your calendar to do that for you. And there's some great calendar apps out there. So that's another piece of technology that really is super useful for you. Use those tools to help you manage your day. Here's the beauty of it. You're going to get really good at it. So where you don't need to rely on the calendars and the apps, your internal alarms will help you. So this is a really great thing to at least practice for a few weeks. Create theme days. I had a client a long time ago who just always found that her bookkeeping was never getting done. It was such a nightmare for her. And so we looked at her time schedule and we said, if you didn't book appointments on Wednesday mornings for that first hour that you're in your business, you'd actually have an hour to spend on your bookkeeping. She started that about 5 years ago. To this day, she still has that 1 hour once a week to do her bookkeeping. If she needs a little extra time, she'll find it someplace else. But what she typically finds is it takes her about 20 minutes to a half an hour, which is one of the reasons I have my online group called the 20 Minutes CFO, is because actually what I have discovered is that 20 minutes once a day or once a week is really quite sufficient for taking care of many of your financial matters. And she now finds that she spends about 20 minutes on her books, and then she's got another half hour or so that she can spend on marketing. This has been an amazing formula for her, is to really just block out that time. So if you want to block out time for your marketing tasks, your email tasks, your financial tasks, even blocking out sometimes for administrative tasks. Set a time where you're going to attend to those things, get in and get them done. Because otherwise what happens is that you're spending a lot more time doing them because there's no real push. You get distracted, you go off and you do something else, you start checking emails, those kinds of things. So one of the other things that you can do on a daily basis to get more stuff done faster is really set the stage that first hour of your day. When we talked about overwhelm, so overwhelm is really an emotional response to having so much to do. Frequently, it shows up because we don't have the clarity we need to really say, what are my tasks? So I'm going to give you a little tip on that too. But that's what overwhelm looks like. Time management is different. Time management is more based on the structure for getting things done. So important that you get out of your way on overwhelm, which is done through getting some clarity and taking action and really identifying what your most urgent matters are that need your attention, what other things that you can be doing. And in order to have a life you love, you really need to be doing something every single day that's what you want to do. You need to map them out. Get them on your calendar so that you are absolutely spending your time every day on something that you love doing. Quit your work a little bit earlier in the day, 4:30 or something like that. Go down and go out to dinner with someone. So these are important things. I've talked about building in the time for between appointments. This has been a real blessing for a client of mine. One of the things that she did is she found that she was spending, she was quoting that she would spend half an hour with a new client, and she found that she was actually spending 2 hours with new clients, which created a real loss of revenue for her. So by what she did is she actually put a clock on the wall in her conference room so she could pay attention to the time. And now her internal clock really does tell her when she has been speaking to them too long. And she's really refined the process for herself. One of the other things about having too much to do, and it kind of falls into the overwhelm category, is that we are taught to get all of our ducks in a row. So overwhelm is having too many ducks. We have too much to do. They're all over the place. We don't know what we're going to do. So we don't have the clarity. We don't know where to spend our time, where we're going to take that action. But then we've been taught, well, get our ducks in a row. There's a lot of value in organizing your work and getting ready to be ready. I have a long-time business associate that regularly showed up to his jobs without having all of the tools and materials that he needed. He'd get into his work for about an hour or so and then found that he had to run off to Home Depot to get something that he didn't have. Being ready to start your day is very useful in a number of ways. One, it allows you to kind of look at, do I have everything I need? That's the big one. The other one is that if you do it the evening before, if you think about it before you end your day, you will sleep better at night. You will enjoy your time more. And ultimately, we fall back into that's what we're looking for. We're looking to create a lifestyle that we love. We know that we are going to be generating revenue, and we know that we need to be making money, but there doesn't have to be a painful process about it. So line up your ducks very, very quickly. I have a task I call document management. I kind of grab everything that's kind of sitting on my stack of things to do, and I sort them very quickly. I spend less than 5 minutes doing it, folks. Just put like things together. And then when I'm ready to sit down to work, they're all ready and set to go. So don't spend a lot of time on putting your ducks in a row, because after all, you can only focus on one duck at a time. So make your morning lists. Have to, need to, want to. That's for you. The need tos are items that maybe take a little bit longer. So you break them down into little little parts. And then your most urgent thing. The most urgent thing, the very best advice I can give you, and those of you who have seen the Overwhelm video recording, is that you eat the frog. You got to do the thing that you're resisting doing. Do it first. It sets you up for success immediately. It gets you going right away, and it will get you out of overwhelm because you've done what you can do on those things. So pay attention to what you love doing and get that going. So be ready to be ready. Get yourself going on all of that. And then I'd like you to look at the 80-20 rule a little bit more closely for yourself. So don't spend a lot of time doing things that are not really producing results for you. How do you know that? Well, if you're working on tasks that other people want you to do, but they're not really useful to you, you want to look at that. That's the first things first. Really, what's important to you, what's important to your business. So look at those things. You're frequently working on tasks that are in that have to, that most urgent thing, and they're taking a lot of time. You've put things off. Well, you didn't like doing them, or you didn't think that they were something you wanted to spend your time on, and all of a sudden they've gotten out of control. So that's why the have to, need to, want to kind of strategy really is powerful, because those things are kind of those elephants that you're taking one bite out of at a time. So then if you're spending a lot of time on activities, more time than you expected, maybe it's not your area of genius. Maybe it's not your skill set. Perhaps you should be looking at getting some help there. This would be where you would go back. Are there tools and technology that can help me? One of the things that I did just recently was to set up, I took the time to set up a calendar app that allows people to set up their appointments with me directly to my calendar. So simple. But I took the time to set it up. It was an administrative task, but it bought me back a whole lot of time because I was spending a lot of time back and forth, emails, texts, messengers, trying to set up appointments. Now I can just send them the link to the calendar and they can sign up themselves. If you find that you're complaining a lot, you're doing 80% of the work. You're in that 80% zone where you're not doing what you love. You are really doing stuff that is tedious, and you're dragging your feet and you're resisting it. So get into motion, get into action there. The opposite of that is that you're smiling. When you're doing work you enjoy doing, when you understand what you're doing is valuable to you, to your business, to your purpose, well, then all of a sudden you feel much better. You feel more empowered. You're more confident. It's really an amazing result that happens because of that. You're doing things that you enjoy doing, that you're good at. Now you're in the 20% part of your life. So really take a look at that. And I just recently saw this where the coach, he's a business coach, and he was saying, spend some time writing down the things that you would really like to be doing during your day. Give yourself permission to identify how you would like to live your life and spend your time. What is the lifestyle that you're looking to create for yourself? Write those things down. Draw a little picture for yourself of how you would like to spend your time. Now, go back and find out how you really are spending your time. And that's where that little toggle tool can be very, very useful, because if you spend a week to 2 weeks really being consistent about posting the way you're spending your time, you're going to see the pattern. And you're going to be able to ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my time? Is this useful for me? And really assess that from the life that you want to create and the business that you want to create. So I think that that's really, those are really, really important tips for you. So again, time, money, overwhelm, these are the places that business owners really want to know more about. And this is something that I love sharing with people. These are simple, easy hacks to changing the way and mixing up what you're doing so that you have a business and a life that you love. And I really invite you to join my group. It's from Survive to Thrive. It's Business Beyond the Shoebox. What I mean by Business Beyond the Shoebox is a lot of times we end up playing very small because we haven't built the kind of infrastructure that we need to support our success. And there's lots of reasons for that. We don't have the skills. We don't have the support. We don't really know how to do it. What we have learned before has left us at a disadvantage. So this group is about providing support, insight, information from other entrepreneurs just like you who are looking to create this lifestyle that they really, really love. It's completely possible to do. The lifestyles that you see out there of people having these amazing lives is available to you. It's by design. It didn't just happen. It won't happen to you unless you get out there and create it for yourself. So I invite you to join my group. And also, I have a little guide for you. It's the 5 steps for making things happen. It's really the really simplest tool that I have out there that allows you to get out of overwhelm, get into action to creating this life, and it will save you time and it will help you to make more money. So I invite you, if this is something you want, say me please below and in the comments, and we will be happy to get that shipped over to you. Again, I want to thank you for your time today. We have another presentation next week. I'm going live again next week, and I'm going to talk about how to deal with the paper monster. My audience has said that taxes scare them. They worry about it. They don't know how to manage the documents, the receipts, what they do with it. They're completely overwhelmed with all of the stuff coming in the front door, and they're not sure how to get rid of it. They don't know what to keep. They don't know what to save. They don't know what to throw away, and they don't know how to do that. So we're going to talk about the 3 simple practices that you can do and implement to make that paper monster go away and really make tax worry a thing of the past. So again, thank you very much for your time. I'm Lorna Whitaker. It's a real pleasure for me to be here to support you as you journey to having a business and a life you love. Thank you.